nonprofit received a special visit today from Ronnie DeVoe of the R&B group New Edition. So he wanted to show his appreciation for and support of their work.
Yeah, Pick 7's Hannah Harry is live in South Jamaica, Queens with the story. Ayana.
Shirley and Corey, Ronnie DeVoe, it's really been a busy time for him. He's on tour right now with New Edition. The group is marking a milestone this year, but Ronnie DeVoe still thought it was important for him to stop here into LIFECamp. He wants to lend his voice to uplift their work to combat violence in this community. He's graced stages around the world for decades. Ronnie DeVoe of the legendary group Belle Biv DeVoe and the iconic R&B legends New Edition. New Edition is traveling the country right now, celebrating 40 years of making music together with the Legacy Tour.
People have been celebrating and pouring into us.
Ahead of their Long Island show, Ronnie DeVoe stepped away from tour life to highlight a local organization he deeply believes in, LIFECamp, Inc.
They have been boots on the ground, making things happen. When I hear about stats like 15% less violence in areas where they're partnering with other city organizations, that's what I'm talking about. How do I connect to organizations like that?
Founded in 2002, LIFECamp, Inc. is a nonprofit based in South Jamaica, Queens, and they have one mission: help make this community safer.
You have to try to redefine your area and connect yourself to new things.
LIFECamp has impacted thousands of lives, often employing people who've been involved in local violence to become part of the solution. A mission Ronnie DeVoe wants to amplify.
To make sure that this movement keeps going.
So Ronnie DeVoe is donating a portion of his tour proceeds to LIFECamp. He's hosting their golf tournament fundraiser next week, and he brought gifts for some of the moms who work with LIFECamp, tickets to the next New Edition show.
How many you want, huh? I got a few of them for you guys.
Well, a transgender woman says she was sexually assaulted while incarcerated, refused medical care, and placed in solitary confinement because of her gender identity. And she is now suing the state, alleging her constitutional rights were violated.
WJZ investigator Mike Kelgan is live in East Baltimore at one of the facilities where the alleged mistreatment happened. And we want to warn some of our viewers that some of this information in the case is disturbing. Mike?
It is, Vic and Denise, but Chelsea Gilliam wants her story public. She feared she would die in this facility. Her lawyer tells me there's a pattern of abuse of transgender inmates, and the state needs to do more to protect them.
I'm filing this lawsuit today because I don't want what happened to me to happen to any other trans woman.
Chelsea Gilliam says she was housed with men, leading to a sexual assault, and then placed in solitary confinement simply for being transgender. She spent 6 months locked up for an assault charge at the Baltimore City Correctional Center and Maryland Reception Diagnostic and Classification Center, both run by the state, both in East Baltimore.
I would say that I was treated like an animal, but it was worse than that. People love and respect their animals. I was treated like an alien from the moment that I entered Baltimore City Corrections by inmates and staff.
Gilliam says she was denied hormone treatment and eventually left in a cell for 23 hours a day. Her lawyer alleges the state violated her constitutional right against cruel and unusual punishment.
Shackled at the wrists, ankles, and waist every time she left the cell. DPSCS violated its own rules for the treatment of transgender inmates, and Ms. Gilliam suffered the consequences.
The Department of Public Safety will not comment on the lawsuit, but says they want inmates to be safe, writing, "The department has tirelessly worked on the complex issues related to the transgender incarcerated population and is committed to updating its policies as necessary." This is not the first time the agency has come under fire for treatment of transgender inmates. In 2019, Amber Cantor alleged an officer placed her in a chokehold, dragged her through central booking, and dropped her on her face, leaving her with no immediate medical treatment. She says it was in retaliation for her complaints about how trans inmates were treated. And last month, the General Assembly heard from those who say they were victimized. They demanded the state house inmates consistent with their gender identity.
He proceeded to sexually assault me every single day. I have PTSD from this. I was in solitary confinement
Gilliam hopes her lawsuit will force the correctional system in Maryland to change.
The defendants tried to erase me, what happened to me, and all traces of me being transgender. But I will not be erased, and I will not be silenced.
Now, her lawyer says she has not seen a change with the new administration in Annapolis. The state tells us their facilities are routinely audited by the federal government, and they found none that need corrective action when it comes to the treatment of transgender inmates. Live in East Baltimore.
Investigation into allegations of widespread sexual and physical abuse throughout the Los Angeles County juvenile detention system. Here's Aaron McLaughlin, and we have to warn you the details in this story are disturbing.
At just 16, this man, who asked us to withhold his identity, was booked into the Barry J. Nydorf Juvenile Hall in LA County. Now 26, he tells NBC News the sexual abuse started within days of entering the system.
I just went back to my room and I cried silently, and I was just like, is this the stuff that I'm going to go through?
He's one of more than 400 former juvenile detainees now suing the County of Los Angeles, alleging sexual and physical abuse at the hands of probation staff. The allegations spanning 50 years.
I had to hold this in for so long. So long. I have nightmares about these incidents. I wake up in cold sweats.
He says he was groomed and sexually assaulted by the same supervisor during a series of detentions until he aged out of the system.
So when you went back to that facility, this happened again?
And again. And again.
He says the abuse included 4 instances of rape and that he tried to file a grievance, but that same male supervisor told him no one would ever find out.
He told you that?
Out of his mouth. Your grievances will never make it to the front office because there's nobody here to help you.
How did that make you feel?
Real hopeless. Like, I had to endure what he did to me. I had no choice but to take it.
For years, California state and federal investigators have documented serious issues across the system. A 2019 LA County report uncovered allegations of sexual misconduct against a probation officer and of not taking action on those complaints. Tonight, the Department of Probation declined to comment on pending litigation. But Eddie Chisholm, first vice president of the Deputy Probation Officers Union, denies claims of abuse.
Is there sexual abuse inside the LA County juvenile detention system?
No.
No.
And I know that the department does its due diligence. They have a unit. Any allegations of misconduct that's made by a client is thoroughly investigated.
In a statement, the LA County Board of Supervisors, which oversees probation, said, "We have zero tolerance for violence of any kind, including sexual assault," adding, "We are holding the probation department and ourselves accountable for improving conditions."
Anybody who's been abused, don't be afraid to speak up about it. Because sooner or later, somebody's going to listen. Somebody's going to hear us. And we're going to get what we deserve.
With at least 84 lawsuits alleging sexual abuse filed so far, tonight, LA County sources tell NBC News the potential liability is in the billions.